So one of the things I see with new t-shirt designers is they don't know how to lay out or create a t-shirt design. Usually they take text and graphics and then kind of haphazardly throw it up on there. In this video, I'm going to help. I have 20 years of design experience. I've scoured the internet to look at t-shirt designs as well, and I've put together 25 basic layouts. So I'm going to show you this list of layouts. It's in graphic form so you can see, and I think these can help you whether you're brand new to t-shirt design or you've been designing for a little bit. I think there's something for everyone in this. There's 25 different ones, and I think it can help you get better design, which in turn can get you better sales this Q4 and beyond. So in this video, I'm going to show you all 25 layouts. I'm going to show you examples of how it works with my designs that I've done with Design with Detour. You can see exactly how they kind of relate to the layouts that I'm showing you. And I'm going to take an example of a layout that was haphazardly thrown together and put it through a few of these layouts, these basic layouts, and show you the big difference and how it can be so much better when it's laid out nicely. So without any further ado, let's get into these 25 layouts. All right, so here we are in Affinity Designer, 25 basic t-shirt layouts. I'm going to have this as a free download on my site after this video. You'll see it. Nobody's doing this, by the way. I came up with this totally on my own. You're not going to see this anywhere else but here, and I think this can really help you. So first of all, you're going to have to see this guide here because I didn't actually put the text. The text is going to be, you're going to have to find that and put it in. And they're just big blocks of text, so you can use any words that you want. It kind of fits everything. So here's the guide. I'm putting text, just imagine text as this big rectangle black box, right? It can be taller or longer depending on the word size, but this is basically it. You'll see what I mean. And then graphic, I'm just doing this. It can be in a rectangle, it can be in a circle. It just represents your free form graphic, or it could be in a rectangle. It doesn't have to be in a rectangle. This is just showing you where it is kind of on the page. And then this layout space, let me just zoom in some more so you can see this guide. So text, graphic, and the layout space is 4500 by 5400. So let's take this, I'll go by one so you can see what I mean. And then I'm going to show you examples so this isn't just abstract, but it's abstract here because the first one is the basic one. The most basic is when you have a design, whatever you get it from, it can be Creative Fabrica, it can be Kiddo, it could be whatever you get your graphic. Your graphic, big graphic at the top takes up most of the space, and then you put your text on the bottom. We've all seen this. This is the very basic one, but I wanted to put it in here because it counts as a basic one. Step 2 or layout 2 is kind of the same thing, but sometimes you have 2 lines of text, right? So maybe you have a phrase more than just a couple words. You have like 5 words. You're gonna have to put 2 or 3 up here and then 2 down here. Now, don't be too concerned about getting it right. Sometimes the top line is going to be bigger than the bottom line, and that's fine. Sometimes the top line is going to be smaller than the bottom line. That's fine. It's just showing that there's 2 lines of text, right? So don't get too hung up on the size either. Like, it doesn't have to be exactly this size. This is just showing position. So another way to do it is having your graphic in the middle, your text on the top and on the bottom. We've all seen that one. This is pretty basic. Now you can also flip it where there's 2 lines on the top and then your graphic below. We've seen that too, where you have 2 lines and then very, very basic, just all in a tall rectangle, right? So these are super basic. You could have a big line of text up here and maybe a smaller words on the bottom. And we could flip this too. I didn't put it in, but you could do the opposite where this little line is on top and the bigger one on the bottom. This is just showing you size. So you may need a bigger word up here and a lot of little words down here and so on, right? So these 5, super basic, but I think it can help, especially if you're kind of trying to brainstorm. What do I do? I've already done this one. I don't want all of them to stay the same. Well, you can flip it around. So here's more. 6, we've all seen this one where the image is kind of cut in half, right? And then we have the words on the side. So this is another layout. Now you could flip that as well. So this could be on the other side and the words on this side. Most of the time it's this way though. Most of the time it's because it's left aligned. We want that edge right here cut. And I'll show you an example of this one. Number 7 is sometimes you can just have a graphic just in the top right or the top left or the bottom right or the bottom left, right? You can kind of move this around. but the graphic doesn't take up the whole thing. Sometimes you have words and then words on the bottom. We've seen this one before. Lots of examples on here. Now, as you look through other t-shirt designs, you're gonna notice a lot of these examples on there. So another way here, you'll notice this one is kind of flipped sideways. So one way you could do this is if you have a graphic and you have a word flipped on its side. So this one, all the other ones in this example are the words kind of reading right to left, but if you need something going this way, this also works for Japanese, so you could write Japanese characters down, right? So it's either English word kind of turned on its side or Japanese Asian characters going down, or any one that uses characters that can be written up and down. This would work as well. So another one is kind of making the graphic smaller. So sometimes you can make a graphic smaller, have a lot of words, graphic smaller, and another line underneath. That would work. Or a lot of times you can do the words in the back. You might have seen my boba, corgi drinking boba. It would say boba, 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 and then have something in here. You can also do it some other ones. I'll show you an example of this one later in this video. All right, so that's 10. There's more. There's still lots more. Look at this. 11, you can do kind of do it at an angle, your text at an angle with a big graphic there. This one, I wouldn't call it basic, but I wanted to put it in because you can put your text anywhere you want. So I've seen one like this for like a birthday. I'm turning 4, this happy birthday or something like that. So you can use it with anything, but this is just showing you that you could have a graphic here and have text all around it and kind of lay over the graphic, right? That's what this is showing. This next layout, number 13, is having a lot of text and then the graphics a lot smaller at the bottom. That could work. This number 14 I've seen a lot, like eat, sleep, game, repeat, right? So little graphics in here, and the words like eat, sleep, game, repeat, eat, sleep, whatever, repeat. This can be whatever it is, but this is just another layout that I've seen a lot and that can work. So if you have those kinds of things, you can find little graphics to fit in here, and that would work. Now this one I've used before. You might have seen my Raven one that has an actual shape like this, but you don't have to have this shape. This is just showing that text can be rounded at the bottom here. A lot of athletic ones, you might have seen my beaver one that kind of does the same thing. I'll show an example of this one so you can see what it is, but the text itself is kind of not straight. You kind of curve the bottom of the text, which is kind of neat. And then you could or could not have text on the bottom. It doesn't need it. Some of it has it, but this is kind of helping you understand that you could create text on here that has a curved bottom. Speaking of curves, we got a bunch of arcs here. So we got design with an arc here and text on the bottom, design here, arc, and 2 lines of text, maybe a bigger one and a smaller one. Again, you can move the smaller one up and the bigger one below. You could have it without it as well. So this is kind of helping you kind of understand all the differences. You could have an arc here and an arc here with the design in the middle or the graphic in the middle. You could do this kind of athletic design where it's a smaller graphic in the middle, arc, maybe estimated date or EST 1985, and then another thing right here, right? So this could be great for any kind of athletic design. Or you could do something like this. Now, this is very popular with the vintage sunset. It doesn't have to be rounded here, but it can be, and then have your design here. But you could just put a graphic here with an arch text and some other thing, which would be a lot like this, but this one just shows that it's bigger. It's a lot bigger. Again, another vintage sunset kind of idea with your text on the bottom. Vintage sunset with 2 lines here. A lot of these repeat, but they're repeating so that you can know that you don't have to stick to just 1 line. It can be 2 lines, it can be 3 lines, it can be an arc and then another line, right? So lots of different ones. Now this one is a circle with arc and arc, just a little tighter. So it's kind of like this one, but this one is, your design is actually in a circle, right? And this one is showing you that you can have a design in the circle with also being the whole thing in the circle. You might have seen this. A lot of logos are like this too. So this one is really powerful. And 25, if you can do this, this is more of an oval that takes up the whole tall rectangle with words inside and everything. So kind of like beer labels. These are like icons, logos, and labels would work really well in this situation. So there you go. 25 layouts. If you can't decide how to lay out your designs, here you go, 25 basic t-shirt layouts. And I'm going to show you how to use them, but first I want to show you in real life that I've used them, so you can see that these are valid and that these work. So let me show you another part. So layout number 1, what am I talking about? Well, it doesn't have to be a rectangle. You can just see the graphic is at the top. So this is showing you a graphic with one line of text. Puggy corn, right? Perfect layout, great layout. I think it could work, and it looks like a t-shirt design. All right, skipping ahead, I'm not going to do all 25, but I want to show you that it works in different ways. So you got the graphic here, text on the top, text on the bottom. You notice I kind of poked the head out here. Even though this is in a rectangle, it doesn't have to be. You can see it looks more like a square on this example, but it doesn't have to be a square. It can be the shape is in the middle, or the graphic is in the middle. And I kind of like to break some lines sometimes, so you can see this is kind of breaking the line, but it's still this basic layout, right? So you can do stuff like that. Number 7, so you might not have known what this means. So the graphic on the top left, you see graphic on the top left, and I'm having the text on the right and then on the bottom. So you don't have to have the text go all the way. You can see I filled it in with some hearts, but this is kind of line 1, line 2, line 1, line 2. And this is showing 3, but you can put 4, right? I got 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. So as long as it finishes. So you don't have to follow this exactly. This is just kind of to help you think, where am I going to put the graphic? Where am I going to put the text, right? So this works. This works for taller graphics, because this was tall, so I've got a taller graphic. Let me look at what I have for taller graphics. This is one of them. All right, so this is the 15, where you can see the text right here, and you can do these text effects in Affinity Designer. You can do this in Kiddo. I don't believe you can do this kind of text effect in Canva right now, at least not with Canva. You might have to use some kind of text tool or app that Canva has, but basic Canva just can't do this. I believe there's a text effect app in Canva that probably could do this, but you can see the graphic doesn't necessarily follow exactly this, but you can see that with the stars, if we count this whole thing as one graphic, it kind of does. So, and then line of text on the bottom. Again, it doesn't have to be this thick of a line of text. This was a longer text, so it ended up being smaller because it's smaller like that. And then this isn't just one word, it could be 2 words, right? So kind of play around with it. This is just kind of basic layouts, and you're gonna have to fill it in. So I got more for you here. Number 10, so all the words and then the graphic in front of the words. So there you go, grandma, grandma, grandma. You got the unicorn doing the dab. Number 19, so this is more of an athletic design. So you can see the word coming across in an arc, 2 words on the side, estimated 1984. I got champion here. I put another line because you can. I put some hearts. It doesn't need the hearts, but I like the hearts to have that pixel, and then you can see the design. So this layout works great for anything that you want to make look more athletic, sporty kind of thing. Number 20, you can see I could have used a vintage sunset, but I actually just used a circle with some graphics inside and then cut it off with a straight edge at the bottom. And so that straight edge works really well with some text over here. And this, because it's curved, works really well with some curved text or arc text right here. So this is how I'm using number 20. Number 23, in a circle, you can see this one doesn't have the circle like 24 on the outside. It just has the circle of text around it. Now it can touch, you can put stuff on the sides here if you want, but in this case I went all the way around and put the stars in the middle here. So there you go. Those are all the designs, not all the designs, but those are some of the examples that I've used, with layout 1, 2, 3, and so on. So you can see it. I've actually used these layouts and they actually work, and you can see they look really good. So let's take another example of what I found on TeePublic, and I'll show you the design, the original design. I'll zoom in here. And this is the original. So this is what I see a lot with new designers. They have an idea, they've seen exercise, I thought you said exercise, which is a popular phrase, but they don't know how to lay it out, right? They know they need fries and they know they need the words, but then this doesn't look like a t-shirt design, right? The tall rectangle. So here I'm going to show you how to use this. Take this, I'm going to use the same graphic but lay it out differently. And I'm going to change the font because you shouldn't be using fonts that you can't read, and these are really hard to read. So let's use number 17. Look at this. This is the graphic in the middle, arch text, and 2 lines. Exercise, fries. I thought you said extra fries. Same words, laid out differently, and it looks so much better. It looks like a t-shirt design, right? And if you're wondering what these fonts are, I made this in Canva, by the way, totally free. Yearbook Solid is this one, and More Sugar is that one right there, if you want to try it out. Okay, but that's not it. Let's try a different layout. I'm gonna zoom in here so you can see this one. Number 6, where you cut off the side, right? So that I have a straight edge here, and then put the words. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. You can see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Doesn't matter, it just has to fill that space, right? So exercise, I thought you said extra fries. Look at that, that's so much better than the original. A better font, but it's in a tall rectangle, and this looks a lot more like a t-shirt design. One more, just to show you that these work for anything. Number 13. I could have used all 25 and done this, but it would have made a really long video. So I just did 3. Here's number 13. Exercise, I thought you said extra fries with the fry on the bottom. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, it could be 5, it could be 3, but the idea is there's a bunch of text on the top at different lengths, different sizes, and a little smaller graphic at the bottom. Doesn't this look like a t-shirt design when compared to this right here, right? These will get you a lot better chance of getting a sale than this right here, because this does not look like a t-shirt design, but these do look like a t-shirt design because they're using the basic foundation of t-shirt layouts. So there is a way to lay out your t-shirts that look nice. Now these are 25 basic ones. These aren't all the different ways, and these are just for graphic and text, right? Kind of combining the two. I think that's what most people have a hard time with. If it's just a graphic, you put it in the middle. If it's just text, you just lay it out. But people have trouble with graphic and text. So text, graphic. If you have a tall graphic, use some of these tall ones. If you have a wider graphic, use some of these wider ones. If you have a smaller graphic, if you have a vintage sunset, use some of these things, and so on and so on. So hopefully these really help. There's lots more layouts than these, but I think these 25 can actually help you get started, especially if you're beginning, or if you're just kind of not knowing what to design outside of these. A lot of people know these already, these 5 basic ones, but if you're kind of stuck and need something, want to challenge yourself, do some of these, and these can really help. So there you go, those are my 25 basic layouts. I forgot to say that you can get these now on my downloads page. It's going to be totally free. Just download it, have it as a reference, put it on next to your computer or on your desk so that next time you're designing a t-shirt, you can look at these and try one of these out and lay it out, and hopefully get you a lot more sales. At least it will look like a t-shirt design, which is kind of half the battle for a lot of beginner t-shirt designers. Now, if you want to see another video about t-shirt design, I have an older video, but these are 16 tips or a few tips, design tips that everybody should know. So go and watch that one too, and I think it will help your whole design, which in turn should get you more sales. Thanks again for watching, and as always guys, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.